Good morning. Uh, I don't want to talk about this topic this morning. As I was going to make my morning drink, that's the phrase that showed up for me. I'm hoping I'm wrong. But let me feel into the cards. It feels like that one, but I know who that is. Uh, don't want it to be that card either. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well today. Like the card for today popped out at me, and I don't want that one either. Oh, so it's a two card day today. It's a two card day. First card that I touched that was like pick me is Oya. Well known as the goddess of wind, lightning, death, and rebirth, Oya has other lesser known attributes such as dominion over words. Oya reminds us to be aware of the power of our words, especially the way we speak to ourselves about ourselves. Oya encourages us to select words that honor, revere, and worship the goddess within. And the message is choose words that celebrate your inner divine. So that's Oya from the Yoruba, from Nigeria, west coast of Africa, where many of our ancestors uh, were taken from as they came here. And the second card, I usually just try to pull one, but apparently now it's two cards. And this one I have never read yet. So this card is transformation. Within, without. We tend to think of transformation as a significant change already completed. What the big bang and flash of a large fireworks display don't demonstrate are the numerous experiences, attempts, and missteps that contribute to the original idea to create a sparkler. Sometimes the sparkler itself, a mindset shift, a new perspective, an unfamiliar willingness, is tantamount to the spectacular 4th of July display, even though it appears small and seemingly insignificant. And the message is trust the wisdom of a sparkler. I like this because what it's saying is that your transformation comes incrementally. It doesn't always come like some huge thing. Good morning, everyone. It doesn't always come like some huge poof. It's sometimes your transformation is just it's really slow steps where you look back 6 months from now and go, oh, all that changed. I didn't even realize that. It's like a little. So take the small baby steps into account. All right, addiction to pain. I don't want to talk about it. So um, I don't know about you all, but it feels like the fall has been crunch time, especially if you're someone who has been on a journey of self-discovery and self-awareness. It just feels like the fall feels really condensed and packed with painful goodness and realizations that are designed for your expansion. It does not feel good. uh it has not felt good to me for a couple of months now. Like, and here's the thing, I feel at peace. I feel a sense of peace, and I feel this freedom unfolding within me. And comment if this is being you, but in the midst of that peace and that freedom, there's also been all of this that's been happening. And one of the realizations that I tumbled to really landing into this morning, and that's why I'm talking about it. I'm kind of working my way through it too, is that I have this addiction to pain. And I suspect that a lot of us do. There's a part of me that gets off on picking the scab. You know what I mean? There's a part of me that, and this makes sense, me being in the BDSM kink world to some extent, which has worked through that a little bit actually. But there's a part of me that has enjoyed. I don't enjoy it now. This is past, right? So let me be clear that this is not completely present day, but there's residue. There's residue still working its way out of my life from that point where I was addicted to pain, and particularly the pain that sometimes men could serve. And the chase and the high and the letdown, you know, so constantly like psh, kaboom, psh, kaboom. Like I couldn't just be in the piece. Like there had to be some drama happening in the relationship in some way in order for me to feel like I was connected to this person, and in order for me to feel like there was passion, you know, involved in what was happening, and creating scenarios of just drama in order for the relationship to have some meaning. And I can see this as residue, and I'm working my way through the residue of it because I can see it in a former relationship that I had. And I can notice the difference now in the work that I've done with this new partner that I've just started seeing. Well, what is this, November? So it's been like 2 months. It's been like 2 months since I've started seeing him. And the total lack of drama that feels quite unnatural to me. Almost like the amount of peace that exists is like, huh. And it gives me even greater clarity on what that addiction looked like, because you don't know until you're out of it. You don't know until you're clean and sober what it was when you were in it. And I realized with many, not all, but well, I haven't had a lot of relationships either. Sleeping with people and being in relationships are two different things. But you know, when I say relationship, I mean like we're involved and invested in each other's lives, not just in each other's bed. But there was always some degree of some of that chase for me. You know, let me make him love me. Let me make him see me. Let me do things. And this is like, don't get it twisted. This isn't like, you know, yeah, those men sucked. Not at all. They're cool people, cool folk. You know, this is about my own patterns, right? And they had their own patterns too, right? We all have patterns. So it's not as though, well, if they had been different then. No. This is on me. My responsibility to my addiction, to the patterns that I had created and developed in my life. And they were simply assisting me in playing out those patterns. And I was assisting them in doing the same. But it was like I needed to have, let me know if you can relate. Comment if you can relate. Like you kind of need that, like it's boring. if there's not some piece of drama involved, if you're not fighting to make up, right? If you're not fighting to have makeup sex. And it wouldn't even like, and people think that looks like, you know, at least in my hood, it looks like a whole lot of and motherfucker and fuck, like in the movies. Oh, it doesn't look like that either. My shit look real passive aggressive. Oh yeah, no, there was no neck rolling. I don't know if I can roll my neck, there was no neck rolling and fingers and faces. This wasn't like a Taraji P. Henson character. I was just real passive aggressive with my shit. That's how I did it. I didn't really have to raise my voice too much. I would just slide my snide comments in, chip away, at things, make him feel some kind of way. I don't do the work or offer the work I do because I'm some, expert and enlightened master. I offer the work that I do because I've done the shit. Because I've been there and there and there, and I've done some of the things, and I've done some of the things to men, and I've done some of the things to my own self. And it doesn't make for the best human experience, in my personal opinion. It just doesn't make for the best human experience. But yeah, passive aggressive. Oh, my communication skills and tongue were on point to like break it down. Women, especially, y'all know. I mean, we can do that. We can cut it with words, right? But I was addicted to that dance, and not trusting him. Fill in the blank. I was addicted to the dance of not wanting to be responsible and wanting him to save me, make it better, so I don't have to do the work. And if it doesn't work, well, then I blame myself for making poor choices. I didn't even blame him. I blame myself, like I chose the wrong mark or something, But all of this has come to light for me this fall. And again, I don't know if for you all it's been condensed. The amount of epiphanies have come far faster than my system has been able to handle. Hence the amount of fear that has been coming up for me, like knots in stomach fear, like I'm walking down a dark alley in a strange place that I don't know type of fear has been coming up for me because there are things popping off. Sparkles. Sparkles constantly popping off. And my person, my being wasn't ready for so much illumination in some of the dark places and within myself. Hopefully that makes sense to some of you. If you've never joined me before, welcome. And so this addiction to pain left me like chasing after a car that's just driving, or you kind of, and like you chase after something and then it's like they stop and you think you've reached it and then it's like it takes off again. Like I liked that. The me who I am right now today in front of you would not, could not, cannot. Even though I found myself wanting to dip back into those patterns with one person who was exiting my life. And I found myself kind of wanting to, because he is from then. And you know, oftentimes when someone's from then, the patterns connect. And even if you've changed or grown, have you ever been around somebody like that? Like, you know that you've grown and you've changed and shifted, but as soon as you get around them, you pop right back into character. And then later on, you're looking at yourself like, what was I doing? Because the rhythm that you all have is so natural, you didn't even realize that you just slid right back into the patterns that the both of you have created together. And I saw myself doing that. And it's like, what are you doing? But even still, as I saw myself doing it and saying, what are you doing? There's this part of me that's still trying to move over into the pattern. Because it was my set point. So admittedly, I'm still working through that because this is one of the last patterns in this particular area. Just I'm certain there are like 27 more patterns waiting for me once I work my way through this one. But I'm looking at the contrast between how I was before and how I handle things and how I am with this present person, and the amount of ease and flow that exists. Ease and flow. That we've both discussed our addictions to pain and to codependency. That he has played the role in his relationships that I've played in mine. And that when we are together, there's no one trying to secure anyone. I don't have a fear of losing this person. And so I don't have to try and cling to them. And there's something in what I just said that I'm going to have to explore for myself later, the fear of losing someone. And what does that mean? Like, I feel in my body that I'm going to have to dig deeper into that fear. And I don't need to, I don't like to get all Freudian, but, you know, and go back, but there's something about that for me as I'm speaking to you all, and maybe for some of you as well. The fear of losing someone makes us do really crazy things in relationships. I don't want to be that person. I am no longer that person. But like any addiction, because I often say that I'm a recovering victimholic. I have patterns of victimization that run strong in me. I am the daughter of an adult child of an alcoholic. My grandfather was an alcoholic, right? And so there are patterns that run in me that are so natural. And we don't realize that those things affect us, by the way. So I think, how can I be addicted to pain? You know, I wasn't an alcoholic, though I did have a drug issue for a while, by the way. I'll talk about that maybe another time. But I can see it. I can see it now. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, it makes me feel icky. I don't like it. I don't like it. I didn't like that I realized it this morning. But you cannot work through something that you're not willing to see. And so many of us think that we're just nice, good people, and that we don't have these things lurking in our shadows. And it's the things that are lurking in our shadows that are actually running our lives. It's not our conscious forefront making the decisions for us. It's the hidden patterns that we don't want to acknowledge that are really running the show in our lives. And until we are willing to bring that to the front and look at it and acknowledge it, be disgusted by it, those patterns are going to continue to run like a background soundtrack to your life. And so this morning, as I sat in meditation and then wrote a few things in two groups that I'm in, it came to me more and more and more that this is me working through this addiction that I had to pain, and this addiction that I had to the high and the chase of the drama. And I thought, because it didn't look like, a whole bunch of being bitchy type thing, that's not what it was. Like I was above that. I was doing some of the same behaviors. Mine just looked nicer. That's all. I just wasn't yelling and screaming and cursing. It was the same manipulative, make you feel guilty behavior at the end of the day. So that's it. Sloughing that off, that's the shit that I'm working through. Like I said, this fall's been condensed and it's not even over. Like there's a whole bunch more. That's like, I don't have any words for it. That's just what it feels like. It just feels like there's a whole lot more of that coming out between now. Like that full moon was like the start coming out between now and like December 22nd. Like the next 3 weeks is just going to be like a crash course condensed version in your shadow shit, in the parts of you that you swore you weren't. And then you turn around and it's going to be standing there looking in your face like, and you're like, ooh, I did not know that was there. All right, let's ride it together, because I'll be on here every morning riding that wave with you. I think that's it. One thing, Vixen. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but I honestly don't remember. Vixen, the application will open next week. It's not like a paper application. The application process is really me inviting you to have a conversation with me. Vixen is about working through your shadow shit. Vixen is about being honest about your fuckery. And it's about falling in love with it. Vixen is, well, you should look up the definition of Vixen if you don't know. But Vixen is really about owning those parts of yourself that you swear you're not, when you try to tell people how good and nice you are, how respectable you are. Vixen is about digging into the thoughts that run through your mind, those dark, recessy places that you try to act like don't exist. And it's about bringing them out so that they no longer fucking run your life. And so that you can be clear. And then, if you decide to use those parts of yourself, at least you're doing it with some clarity and some honesty. But you're not going to hide behind what other people may have done to you. And you're not going to hide behind your righteous indignation and justification for your bad behavior. Oh, no. You're going to be like, yes, I did it. He might be like Samuel L. Jackson in A Time to Kill, and I do it again. That's what Vixen is about. And so the women who are coming in to this rites of passage into self cannot come in with the idea that they're going to be fixed, because you're not. Cannot come in with the idea that I'm going to tell you what to do, because I'm not. You cannot come in with the idea that life has done shit to you, because it hasn't. And so because of that, and to make sure that that's not what's coming in, every woman who's interested is going to have a conversation with me. And some of you I'll say yes to, and some of you I will say no to. And that's okay, because I still have the coven. So you can still always join me in the coven, and DM me if you'd like information on that. All right. Now I'm done. I knew there was something else I wanted to say. I love you all. Enjoy your Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's pandemic thing. I feel like I've lost track. I really have lost track of the days. Oh, it's December 1st. Look at that. God, like the fall, like it was summer and now it's New Year's. The hell. Anyway, I love you. Enjoy your happy first day of December. I will see you back here tomorrow morning.